A couple of things happened yesterday after I had left San Felipe and did not realize it happened until I had returned home and started to review the footage. First thing is the small park or historical site that is across the street from the San Felipe de Austin villa site and museum was either corrupted or something along those lines and just was unrecoverable. The same thing happened with the walk back footage from where I talk about the Brazos River. Now, I do plan to rectify that. Unfortunately, it'll be in another video, and it may be a few weeks before I get a chance to go back to San Felipe, but that's neither here nor there. That's something that can be readily or easily fixed. I can just go back. However, on the footage walking back to my car from the Brazos River, I guess I thought I was recording and I really wasn't. I think I had hit the selection button and it went to photo instead of video, so that may play a part in what happened at the that Stephen F. Austin Park across from San Felipe de Austin. Regardless, the part that kind of disheartened me was I had pretty much a on-the-fly narrative speech, whatever you want to call it, that I was wanting to share with you as part of that walk back, with all of that beautiful foliage and vegetation that was around me. I'm going to try my best here to get that message out. I don't remember 100% of what I said because it was on the fly, and you're gonna hear a train coming by here in just a moment. But what I felt while I was standing there at the Brazos was I felt so small. And this is I see this as a good thing. And it made me realize that there's our train. It made me realize that we put a lot of emphasis, especially in our schools, and what I remember from Texas history is that we place a lot of emphasis on the people and of course some of the events, but there's much more to history than just the people and the events. It's the places. Of course, the places set the background. You know, we have the Alamo, San Jacinto, Goliad, Gonzales, Velasco, Anahuac. But at the same time, it's almost like those places, at least in the way I feel, is those places are kind of more or less supporting characters in the grand scheme of this play we call life and history. Going to the Brazos at that point in the Stephen F. Austin State Park just made me feel small. It made me feel like there's much more that we can do to celebrate, preserve, reenact, and maybe it was the whole day, but I really don't know how to verbalize what I actually what I feel. I'll say small because nothing that I'm doing here is special. Nothing about me is special. I'm just an average person that, by the grace of God, was born in what I feel is the greatest state in the United States. I feel also that as Texans, we kind of walk around with a chip on our shoulder. We are a little bit more boisterous about being Texans, our history, but do we really cherish that history? Do we really hold that history sacred? Some of us do. Unfortunately, I would say that most of us don't. And I don't think it's through any fault of the individual. I think it's partially the fault of the education system. But again, that's a fight we have to take up with the governing body of our education system. And that's a whole nother subject that I'm not going to get into right now. Essentially, what needs to be said, or I feel needs to be said, is that whether you were born here or you came here, it is our job, it is our calling, and it is our duty to preserve history, to celebrate history, the good and the bad. History is what makes us who we are as individuals and as Texans. As native Texans, and I'm only speaking for myself, but as a native Texan, as a person who was born in Freeport, Texas, Brazoria County, in a place that is so rich with history, I do walk around when I go to other states with head held high and maybe got a little bit of an MJF syndrome, that thinking that I'm better than you, and you know it. And if you pay attention to the video that will come out hopefully Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 18th, you'll notice that I'm wearing a shirt that says "Better Than You, Baby." So I have to give a little shout out to MJF and Adam Cole, two of my favorite AEW wrestlers. But that shirt, even though it's a pro wrestling shirt, it kind of defines how I feel being a Texan. I think that Texas it's not perfect. It's far from perfect. But I do believe 100% in my heart that Texas is the greatest state in the Union of the United States of America. And I talk mess about the adjoining states. I give my mother hell because she was born in Louisiana. She's an LSU fan. I tell her that LSU purple and gold make my skin burn, scorches my eyes. You know, I make jokes about Oklahoma, like the reason that Texas hasn't fallen into the Gulf of Mexico is because Oklahoma sucks. I say that in jest. I don't mean it. There's the other states in America are great, but there's a pride with being a Texan. It's pride I wear literally on my sleeve. It's on my sleeve. I don't know if you can see it. It's the Alamo, 1836. I have the Texas flag. And just disregard this piece of mess here. That's the very first tattoo I ever got. That's going to turn into the Come and Take It cannon. But I do wear that on my sleeve. I don't pull any punches, make any bones about it. I am Texan through and through. But what we as Texans, again, whether you were born here or whether you came here after the fact, or as a lot of people that moved to Texas, we weren't born in Texas, but we got here as fast as we could. You're also charged with respecting, honoring, preserving the history of what makes Texas great, what makes Texas stand alone, and in some cases stand above other histories. I've heard people say that a lot of the people that move here could give two rat turds about Texas history. They don't care. It's just a place to live. There's nothing special about this place. And in all honesty, if that's your mindset, you're wrong. You're as wrong as you can be. And that Brazos River portion of the upcoming video, you'll hear me say something along the lines of, I wish I could see what this river has seen. And I think that's a statement that really just cemented that feeling. That river, it's majestic, it's beautiful, it's grand, it's every adjective you can, positive adjective you can say about a river. It's marvelous. And it was always there. I love and respect Texas almost as much as I love, respect, and fear God Almighty. Thing is, when I started this whole project, I didn't expect anything, and I've noticed that subsequent videos, you know, from the Missouri Heritage Foundation got some fairly decent views. Got 2 videos out now that have 0 views, and that's okay. That's not going to deter me from continuing on. I look at it this way: if I can bring one person to honor, respect, and hopefully preserve Texas history, where the fact that they are from Texas, whether transplanted or native born, if I can have one person do that, it's all worth it. I want to end this video with a challenge. I want to put it out there. I want to charge the viewers, the few of you that watch this. And this could hold true for anybody, no matter where you're from, where you're at. Love where you're from. Love where you live. Find a reason. It's all around you. You just have to look for it. And if you're younger than, say, 25, 26, even 30, you're going to be like I was. You're going to have things that were always around you, and you're going to take them for granted because they've always been there. Much like the Brazos for me. It's when you get older that you start to realize that things that were always there and had so much to tell, and you had so much to learn from them. Listen, watch, observe, and take it in. And that goes for historically significant places. That goes for your family. That goes for your faith. It's around you. It's everywhere. Learn from it, respect it, honor it. The good with the bad. in a historical point of view, do what you can to honor the history that makes where you're at special. Preserve it. Do everything you can to preserve it. It may be telling friends and family or acquaintances about places you've been and what makes that place or the people special. It could be donating to a local museum. It could be becoming a member of that museum. You don't have to go so far as to do what I'm doing and make YouTube videos and things like that, but do what you can. And you don't have to be militant or exceptionally boisterous about it. You can do it quietly. Become a member of your local museum. Donate. If you visit, drop a couple of bucks in their donation tin or case. Buy a book from a museum. I walked out of the San Felipe de Austin Museum with a map of Austin's colony, a t-shirt, yeah, I mean, it cost a little bit more than I wanted it to, but I knew it was going to something great. It was going to something that maybe improve how we tell history, how we show history. Also want to end this with thanking the people that I talked to throughout the day yesterday. Now, unfortunately, trying to find a Bernard in New Ulm was a little bit of a bust, and probably on my part. I do want to thank Sean and everybody at the Ace Hardware store there in New Ulm that did their absolute best to help this goofball out and try to find where the San Bernard rises. Couldn't find it. They did their best to tell me where it was at. So thank you, Sean, for helping me out. And I will go back to New Ulm at some point. But I'm an idiot. I couldn't find it. Also want to thank the wonderful people at the San Felipe de Austin Historical Site doing their reenactments. The gentlemen that were firing the cannon every half hour, and the wonderful ladies that were at the Stephen F. Austin State Park. Very, very helpful. Everybody I talked to, it was, yesterday was one of the best days that I had in a very long time. I know this video's quite boring. It's just me talking, but it's something that was on my heart, and I felt that yesterday's version would have been, if if I'd have filmed it correctly, it would have had more gusto to it. It would have probably had a better resonance with anybody that watches this. But every word I said was heartfelt. And thank you, anybody who watches any of these videos. It's an honor to have the platform. It's an honor to go to these places and talk about them and show you. So, but look for the premiere of San Felipe and the Brazos River. I also went to the candy store in Belleville because San Felipe, the Bernard, New Ulm, they're all in Austin County. But make sure you set your calendars for the premiere. And again, thanks everyone for the support. And I'm not going to do the subscribe thing. You've heard it 10,000 times, probably 1,000,000 times. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's okay. Once again, preserve, respect, educate Texas history.